Hey everybody, it's Matthew with the Brooklyn Farm Girl fam. Pamela is working on some new recipes today, so I'm going to be planting some seedlings in our new seedling trays. Time has finally come. We're late February now. I feel like we're a little behind schedule, but better late than never. But we got to get these babies planted because it's time. Spring is coming. So today we're going to be planting 6 different plants. We have our little Pokemon-inspired trading cards for the vegetables here. We're going to be planting broccoli, Eastern Magic, winter boar kale, a tiara cabbage, a gladius Brussels sprouts, amazing cauliflower, I like that name, and a hiru bok choy. Most of these we have grown before, except for the cauliflower. The cauliflower is a bit of a new one. We've grown cauliflower in the past, but always kind of struggle with it. So we're going to give it another go. Cauliflower is one of my favorite vegetables, so it really aggravates me that we can't grow it well. Also, we have these new seedling trays that we're giving a go for the first time this year. These things are awesome. They're Neversink Farm Tools production here, and you can run this over with a car. Another video, I'm jumping on it, and they're not flimsy at all. Like a lot of seedling trays that you'll get, they're made out of really flimsy plastic and they fall apart. These things, super durable. Also, air pruning, which supposedly, or so I hear, gives more healthier plants. To be determined, we'll find out. First time using these, so we'll see how it goes. It's interesting design though. Seems like the soil is going to fall right through. I've never put dirt in these yet, so we'll see how that goes. So let's sort things out here a little bit. The bok choy is going to be grown indoors, so we're going to do sequential planting with these, a couple plants at a time. And Pamela loves eating the bok choy for lunches. So I think we're going to grow maybe 12, maybe 18 plants at a time. We'll see how that goes. Maybe less than that. And put those over there for now. Broccoli, I think we're going to do 60 plants of broccoli. So what we got here? 6, 1, 2. Yeah, so this will fill up most of this tray, and then we'll stick the kale at the end there. Cauliflower, we'll do 24 cauliflowers. 1, 2. These trays also come in different sizes, like most trays do. There's a 50, 128, and then a 72. And these are 2 72s. We'll put the bok choy in the 50. The bok choy is just going to be growing under grow lights. Cabbages, how many cabbages? Look at my little cheat sheet. 36 cabbages. 6. I feel like it took me forever just to figure out the spacing here. I think most of these will keep in these planters. Pamela said she was going to be quiet, but her phone just rang. Thanks, Pamela. Unbelievable. Anyways, what was I saying? There she goes.
Sorry, phone call.
Serious, important phone call. It's probably one of the kids. They're probably sick, or they got bit, or who knows. Might have to stop this video and go out and run in a panic. We'll see. Maybe not. Anyways, we have, what was I saying? The seedling trays. I was just figuring out how to arrange things here. I think most of the plants we will keep in this size of tray, but we do have a larger tray too that we could transplant them into if they need to be a little bit more healthy. We'll see. All right, first things first, let's start doing this. Nothing really that fancy about the potting mix here, just Miracle-Gro. It's usually what we use. Imagine you could get something a little, I don't know, a little less evil. I don't know if Miracle-Gro is evil, but no, Miracle-Gro is great. I love them. So this is a super interesting design on these seed trays. It's like the soil just falls right through in the gaps. And then they're kind of tapered down. They start bigger and then they slope down. The lower part does for the roots. And supposedly, that's how this is going to hold the soil in. When I first saw these, I thought, the soil is going to fall right through. What the heck? But Neversink Farm Tools, pretty neat company. In upstate New York, they have this farm, and they make a lot of these premium tools, seed trays, planters. In our community garden, we use one of their sprinkler systems. Always make a huge mess doing this. But that's all right, I got my cardboard piece down. This is the easy part. My most hated part of planting seeds is poking the holes. It's not like we are a professional greenhouse, where we're growing thousands of seedlings, but imagine poking all these little tiny holes one by one. That's pretty much what I do. Usually I'm the one doing this. And Pamela watching me. I poke one hole at a time. Apparently there is a tool that Neversink Farms makes, a dibbler, and it's like a multi-pronged, I use a pencil, right? Just one at a time. But this has multiple little prongs on it, and you can just do it all at once. But a little too expensive for our small scale seedling planting, so we'll stick with one by one. I've also seen some people make them out of wood dowels, glue them all to a board, and maybe do 6 at a time. 3D print them, anything like that. All right, whoa, check that out. I lifted it up and the soil just fell right through for the most part. And I just tamp it down. Oh, cool. Yeah, look at that. Huh. Might fill up these ones a little bit more in the foreground. Yeah, check that out. Huh. I think I'm going to go ahead and do the rest really quick. We'll just fast forward through this. I'm going to bring you back here and get some ASMR seed planting noises for you. Right, with the sultry sounds of my voice. Number 2 done. We just have the one more for the bok choy. Just using the biggest ones here, just because we're growing these under the lights. The other ones we may or may not transplant to bigger ones, we'll see. Hopefully I don't run out of soil here. Let's just dump this whole baby out. All right, almost there on these 3 seed trays. It's going to be close. It'll be really close. We're doing this in our studio space here, indoors. It'd be a little bit cleaner out in a greenhouse, if we had a greenhouse. I'd like a greenhouse. We used to have a greenhouse. We had some property upstate New York. Funny story, greenhouse blew away. Strong horizontal line winds. We didn't live up there. We just drove up there from Brooklyn. And we're driving along, see through the tree line, see our property, our garden, our little farm, and no greenhouse. We don't have that space anymore. Blame having kids for that. It was a long drive. They didn't like it. All right, all done. And you know what? We got a handful of soil to spare. We'll just put that over there. All right. We also have these nice watering trays that go along with the seed trays. Super durable again. Look at that. Step on it, roll it over it with a car, whatever. All right, now comes the tedious part, the dibbling, the making of the holes. You know, we got 72 times 2 plus 50, so we're looking at quite a bit here, 200 or so. Yeah, I just take a pencil, start poking the holes. Nothing fancy about that. So we can speed through this. All right, that's the first tray done. Whew. Really need that dibbling tool. I'm serious, never seen farm tools. They have the whole thing and it has a bunch of little prongs for however many seed slots that you have in the tray, and you just press it down and voila, it's done. Much faster than one at a time with a pencil. Just it's a little expensive maybe, unless you're doing like production greenhouse growing, then you gotta save time. First round done. It's a little difficult with the soil here because it's super dry. This soil has sat over there in the corner, all winter, or really since last spring. It'd probably be better if it was a little bit more moist, but I did not sprinkle any water on it. It's bone dry. So it's gonna be a little bit more challenging than it has to be. I feel like the seed planting, Mr. Rogers here a little bit. Trolley going by. Just keep poking away. Pamela's over there making some new recipes, doing the real heavy lifting. I'm just poking holes in dirt, one at a time. All right, that's the second one done. Super exciting video, poking holes in dirt for seedlings. I gotta get another tray here. Oh, here it is. Do the last one. This one doesn't need as many holes because we're only gonna do, how many we got here? This is the 50 tray, so each column is 10. Why don't we just do 15? This is the bok choy. This guy. Baker Creek heirloom seeds. It's kind of our go-to. We've been growing this kind for a while, and Pamela really likes it. For lunches, sometimes if we're feeling crazy, we'll make some sorts of Asian soups. Make some pho or something like that. That sounds real good. "15 holes. And we'll just plant this one first, I guess. It's right here. So 15 holes. I'm doing one seed in each. I only made one hole. I'm not going to poke a second hole in all of these. That'd take forever again. So these guys will sprout relatively quickly because we grow them under grow lights here, and we have a heating mat. So nice and warm, 75 to 80 degree germination. Heck, they might germinate. They'll probably germinate before the end of the work week. So just a couple days. And then once they germinate, we'll do a second round. Succession planting, just so there's not too much. Last year we grew like 72 bok choy plants, and it's too much for one family, or mostly one person, Pamela, to eat at one time. So had to compost some of that. All right, so those are done. I'm just gonna collapse the holes. And these little guys will be good to go. Got a little seed marker here I'll just toss in. There we go. Tray one done. Put a little greenhouse lid on this. After we fill it up with water, we'll take it over to the lights. Let's put this here. I'll fill this up with water now. While we're doing the others, maybe it will soak up. Yeah, I'm really excited with these new trays to see how this grows. Not that you need fancy equipment to grow seedlings or anything, but I just wanted something a little bit more durable. I've had my eye on these for years. Our other seed trays were fine, but they're just a little flimsy. They make that crinkly sound when you move the plant from them. This seems like something I could pass down to the kids. This will last forever, this hard, real hard plastic. The wind strip trays is what they're called. All right, tray number 2. You know, maybe I'll just put the water in this now too. Let it start to soak up. There we go. Maybe we'll do this one too. Let that start to soak up while we're planting the other seeds. All right, all of our holes looking good. Oh, that one fell apart a little bit. You know, I love just hearing about people planting their gardens. You know, gardening is, you know, I guess a passion, and everybody has their own sort of ways of doing things. You know, whatever works at the end of the day, as long as you're getting your plants to grow. Everybody has their tips and tricks. don't really have too many tips to offer you today, but just thought it would be cool to document this. We plan to do that for all the plants going forward. Coming up in a couple weeks, or maybe even just beginning of March, so in like a week and a half, I'm gonna start planting the broccolis. Filling the whole tray with the broccolis here. Yeah, the next round of plants coming up, a lot of flowers that we're growing this year, new plants. We usually don't grow too many flowers, just marigolds. But this year, we're gonna go flower crazy. No flowers yet. That will be very soon, we'll start those. I mentioned when we started here that getting a late start with planting these. We used to even plant broccoli and those sorts of cold weather plants, other brassicas. We used to plant them even in the end of January here in New York City, zone 7B, I think we are. But we've pushed it back. Our gardening situation has changed over the years. We used to have rooftop garden. Now we are predominantly in our local community garden, which is really awesome. And we've moved to mid-February to start planting these things. Here we are, we're in the last week of February right now, and I think it's too late. Not too late, but later than I would have liked, especially because you got to start cycling those other plants in and out. Obviously, it really depends on the weather. Weather in New York City this winter, quite cold. I feel like it's, I don't know officially, but colder than normal, feels like to me, which is surprising because the last couple winters have been really mild, and we went a couple years without any sort of snow. This year we've probably gotten, I don't know, at least locally in our neighborhood, maybe 6 inches total throughout the entire winter. It's all melted now. It's almost 60 degrees Fahrenheit outside now. But yeah, a little later than usual I would like for these. The problem is that I really like to plant them in mid-February or even early February, but now that we got the kids, three gals, they go on winter break, like the 20-something of February, and not around to take care of the plants. So kind of pushed it back past when they go back to school and we come back to town. So if we're out of town, we can't tend to these things, especially when they're really fragile, like brand new seedlings. We'll be monitoring these daily, make sure they got enough water. As soon as they sprout, taking off the germination dome. Once they start growing and you got enough water, they're kind of, set it, forget it. But the next couple days are crucial. Even the next 2 weeks, a week and a half is crucial. All right, last ones. Whew. 72 broccolis. This is an increase from last year. Last year we planted, I'll throw one more in that hole. I'm not sure I got it in the good spot. Last year we planted 60 of these babies, and this Eastern Magic type of broccoli has been really successful for us. Great big heads, good production, lots of side shoots. Even when it starts to get warm, it holds up really well. I'm just gonna collapse these holes now. And in the little plot that we work in, it's not that little, it's pretty big. It's probably the biggest plot in the entire community garden. We work on it collectively with some other families. And the request was for more broccoli this year. So we grow most of the seedlings for that plot. So we're going to plant some more this year. We got 72 instead of the normal 60. We'll find room somewhere for them. Still have to finish the garden planning map. But we'll squeeze them in somehow. We'll definitely find room, or if we can't find room, we'll give them away to some other folks in the community garden. They can grow on their plots. You can never have enough plants. All right, wrapping up the first batch here. Fully planted broccoli, 72, tamped down a little bit. We got it watered. Stick the little stick in there. Good to go. Actually, you know what? I'll just load the stick on top because with the humidity dome, it won't work unless you lay it down. I'll move this over here. Make sure we don't spill it. We got the bok choys. I'll put the humidity dome on that too. These are old humidity domes that we've just acquired over the years. Burpee. I guess we used to use Burpee seed trays. We moved to a bunch of Johnny seed trays, which were quite nice. Still flimsy plastic, but nicer than like home improvement store Burpee ones that you would find. All right, last round. What do we got here? We have cauliflower. We're going to do some Brussels sprouts, cabbage, and kale. How did I have this sorted out? I'm going to put just trying to do my ordering here of the plants. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 times 6, 30. Maybe we'll do 24 cauliflower. Again, we haven't had much success with cauliflower, so I don't want to grow a ton until we feel a lot more confident about it. This cabbage has grown fantastic, though, so we'll definitely do that. All right, let's start planting the cauliflower at least. So this cauliflower is called Amazing and has very good reviews. Baker Creek, Heirloom Seeds. So we were convinced to give it another shot. Cauliflower might be, it's definitely a top 3 vegetable for me. And I'm always really disappointed that we get super tiny heads or they bolt too fast in the heat. So I'm happy to be growing them again. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully amazing, like its name. See what I did there? Only 24 of these guys, though. You know what? I messed up a little bit. Got too busy talking, and I was only supposed to do 60 broccoli plants, but you know, I love broccoli so much that I just kept planting the whole tray. That's all right. We will find Maybe we'll find room for the Brussels sprouts in the bok choy tray. What are you gonna do? More plants, right? So let's do the cabbages next. Tiara cabbage, been growing it for a couple years now. This cabbage is so sweet. Almost tastes like candy. Love it. Don't tell our oldest daughter Enceladus about cabbage because she will be very angry. She's not a big fan of cabbage. Hey girl, cabbage is great. What are you doing? We like to make this in the crock pot with some kielbasa, maybe some potatoes. There's a great recipe on Brooklyn Farm Girl about that. Check it out. It's one of my favorite meals. I love when we got all the cabbage. Boop, get in there. All right, let's make sure I don't screw this one up. 4 rows of 6, so we got 24. I think I wanted to do 36 of these. Yeah. And my holes are collapsing here because the soil is so dry. Really hasn't soaked up any of this water yet. You know, watering from the bottom with seed trays is something we've been doing for a long time now, and I'm so glad that I learned how to do that. It's just so much more healthy for the plants. I feel like it's more evenly watered. You can leave a reservoir of water in the bottom, and you don't have to constantly be worrying about watering. Cover these holes up now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. I can feel it getting a little bit moist down there. Yeah, I'm into these seed trays so far. This is great. These seed trays, I mentioned, they supposedly do something called air pruning, and a lot of times seedlings, they'll start growing and the roots have nowhere to go, so they'll just start spinning around and kind of create a tangled mess in the bottom of the little seed cup. And what the air pruning will do is when a root goes and hits air and sees a little daylight, it stops growing. So it kind of prunes itself. And supposedly, or so the evidence has shown, that's more healthy for the plant. We'll see. We come back in a couple months. Last row here. And we'll do the Brussels sprouts in the other one. Let's do the kale for this one. 12 kale plants. You know, I'm not a huge fan of kale, but it's something I've come around to a little bit, though not as much as my dearest Brooklyn Farm Girl, Pamela. She loves this stuff. Winter boar kale is what we grow. It's like big old leaves. And she just eats it by the pound. It just keeps growing too. This kale, it's not really even a cool weather thing. It will grow till the fall even. Problem is that white flies and aphids really love to suck on the leaves. So their infestations are notorious every single season. and it's kind of, I guess it's protein. They're not hurting anything. The plant starts to get a little yellow, but you can still eat it. It kind of grosses me out, gives me the heebie-jeebies a little bit. So they're not going to kill you if you eat some bugs, but it does, the infestations are quite severe, and even staying on top of it, blasting them off with the hose, water spray, using neem oil, those sorts of things. It's just, I don't know, it becomes, you can win some battles, but the war is lost. So we'll get some good harvests in the spring, but when the bugs start coming, when the heat of summer comes, the plants, can't really save them from the bugs. All right, we got that planted. Let's see how many, I can remember how many we did. We got the kale for the 12. We got the cauliflower, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, we have 24 cauliflower. And we had cabbage for the rest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 times 6, 36. All right, 36 cabbages. Seems right. Put the dome on, we got it watered up. Now we just got to finish off the Brussels sprouts. Oop, it's a little heavy now with the water. So again, I messed up here by planting, I was supposed to plant the Brussels sprouts with the broccoli, but got so carried away with the broccoli that I just kept planting more broccoli. So we're going to sneak some of these Brussels sprout seeds into the bok choy tray. We'll just have to transplant them out, or maybe they can stay there. We'll just have to remember not to harvest them when we harvest the bok choy. The bok choy, we're growing it indoors, so we'll probably harvest it, I don't know, 3 weeks? I think 21 days has usually been the target before. In a week, or when these first 15 sprout, we'll start another 15. No pencil this time, just use the finger. So we do 10 Brussels sprouts. Brussels sprouts is something that I've really come around to. All the hate Brussels sprouts get, they are delicious when roasted. Boiled Brussels sprouts, or Brussels sprouts or asparagus that you would get in a can, that kind of creeped me out as a kid, but Brussels sprouts roasted in the oven, I think there was a recipe on that on Brooklyn Farm Girl. Amazing. Love it. Roasted vegetables in general, but particularly Brussels sprouts. This is a new variety that we're growing, Gladius. We used to grow one called Dagan, I think it was, and it did pretty good. It has a similar problem with fighting bugs like the kale does. If you get a bunch of bugs and aphids and stuff in the little folds of the Brussels sprouts, it's a little creepy. A little creepy for me, at least. Sounds like the bug police are coming right now. It's a little creepy for me. I don't want to eat those bugs, even though it's fine. So we have everything planted here. We just did our bok choy. We had put our Brussels sprouts gladius with that. We did the broccoli over there. We did the cauliflower, the 24 cauliflower, the 36 cabbage, and the 12 kale plants. Yeah, first round done for the spring of 2025. More to come, obviously. We have a ton more plants. All these babies need to be planted. These are our little Pokemon cards that we made for our growing season this year. You should check out the video that we made about that, talking about our garden board of progress, all the different cards, little informational cards that we made, very much in the style of a Pokemon trading card game card, or like a Magic card if you're into that. check it out. We had a lot of fun making that, bringing our love of Pokemon into the gardening world. So that's our first round, our first 6 plants. We got a lot more to go in the upcoming weeks. Some of those will not be grown inside, they'll just be directly planted outdoors. These guys will start to sprout pretty soon in the next couple of days. We have a lighting setup over there, heating mats, we'll put them on there, keep the humidity domes on. As soon as they start to sprout, we'll flip on those lights and take the humidity domes off, and they'll start growing. Yeah. Hope this was fun to watch. There will be more. All right. See ya.